Every change, every revolution, every life transformed begins with a single invisible spark. A thought. It doesn't make a sound, it doesn't come with a warning, but it lives, quietly, in the mind. And from that silent seed, entire realities begin to grow. Some people call it imagination, others call it dreaming. But the truth is, what we hold in our minds is not just fantasy. It is the blueprint of who we will become. The mind does not wait for the world to shape us. It starts shaping us first. Right now, within you, within me, there are thoughts burying us and thoughts waiting to set us free. And this is where it all begins. But not every thought gives us wings. Some build walls instead. We don't always see it happen. A small doubt, a quiet fear, a whisper that says, "You can't." And before we know it, those whispers become chains, locking us inside a prison we built ourselves. No bars, no guards, just beliefs, strong enough to hold us back. People think the world limits them, but more often, it's the mind. It tells us we're not enough, not ready, not worthy. And we believe it. So we stop trying. We stop dreaming. The most dangerous cage is the one that looks like comfort, the life we settle for because we're too afraid to ask for more. The mind is powerful. So powerful that even lies, when repeated long enough, start to feel like truth. A person who believes they are weak becomes weak. One who believes they will fail stops trying, and slowly their thoughts begin to write their future before they even take a step. This is how doubt becomes destiny, not because the world decided it, but because we did, in silence, in fear. In the stories we tell ourselves every night before we sleep. Some people call it fate, but fate is often just the mind, choosing for us long before we do. And if the mind can create a future built from fear, then it can also create one built from hope. But then, something changes. It doesn't come as a loud voice or a miracle. It begins as a quiet question. What if I don't have to stay this way? In that moment, the mind hesitates. The same mind that once built cages begins to search for keys. You don't suddenly become fearless. You simply become tired of being afraid, tired of believing the same story, tired of living a life that doesn't feel like yours. And from that exhaustion comes awakening. A single brave thought is born. Maybe I can. And that one thought is enough to crack the walls we once thought were unbreakable. Change doesn't happen in an instant. It happens in small choices, repeated every day. You wake up and choose one different thought, one different action, and slowly, the mind that once held you back starts to lead you forward. You're still scared. You're still uncertain. But now, there is something stronger than fear, belief. And belief is powerful. Because the moment you believe you can, your mind begins to search for ways to prove it right. One step becomes two. A whisper becomes a voice, and the person you once only imagined begins to appear in front of you. And then one day, you realize something. You are no longer who you used to be, not because the world changed, but because your mind did. The doubts may still whisper, the fears may still return, but now they don't control you, because you've seen what happens when a thought becomes belief, and belief becomes life. This is the truth. The mind is everything. What you think, you become. If you think you are broken, you will live in pieces. But if you dare to think you are capable, strong, destined for more, your life will start to shape itself around that thought. So guard your mind. Feed it with hope, not fear. With vision, not limitation. Because your mind is not just a place where thoughts live. It is the birthplace of the person you are becoming.